For the longest time, I resisted making a change that made my grilling safer. In the last few months, I did make that change, and the reason to do so was driven home why in a personal way just yesterday. So what sort of change did I resist making? Well, I was resistant to stop using this, a wire bristle grill brush. Now, I'd heard stories over the years about the bristles coming off and staying on the cooking grate, getting into food and people getting them in their mouths. The strange thing was, I hadn't heard those things for many, many years before that. I've been grilling for well over 30 years, and suddenly in the last 3 to 5 years, I start hearing about this. Now we're all more interconnected with social media and YouTube and things like that. We're gonna hear more stories like that. But I was still resistant. I thought, it hasn't happened to me. I'm just gonna keep using these brushes. They work great. Then a few months ago, someone in the city where I live, they ended up with a metal bristle from one of these brushes lodged in their throat and required surgery. I didn't know this person, but I saw them post the information on Facebook in a community group that we're members of, and I decided then I was going to change. So why make this video now? Well, that was someone I didn't really know. Yesterday, my friend Russell, who runs a YouTube channel called Raspberry Rock Off-Grid Cabin, messaged me and said he had just finished making some chicken wings and was eating them and had a metal bristle stuck in his mouth. And I thought, I dodged a bullet. Not just me, but my family and anyone else that I cook for, because logically, it makes sense that these things are going to come off. Now, why that is, I'm not sure. For years and years and years, you never heard anything about this, as I mentioned. Are these being made differently now by the various companies who make them? Cheaper manufacturing? That's very possible. I just don't think it's worth the risk anymore to use these. So what do I use to clean my grill now? I use one of these. This is a coiled wire grill brush. They come in different shapes and sizes, but the basic idea behind them is you don't have loose bristles. The wire structure is all connected. Now, could some of this still come loose and get on the grill and get lodged in food? Sure, but the likelihood of that is infinitesimal compared to the loose wire bristles on a normal brush. So, do these clean as well as the wire bristle brushes? In my opinion, no, they don't. But also in my opinion, it's not worth the risk to use the wire bristle brush anymore. Now let me show you how this does work on the grill grates. Now with the traditional wire bristle brush, you just start hitting those bits that are on the grill there, some of them flaming up from the heat, and you knock them down. Those bristles get down, they wrap around the cooking grates. This does nearly the same thing. It's almost as good as the wire brush, and I'm sure they will be in the near future. Here's what you do. You just use it just like you would the wire brush. Work it down along the grates. Takes a little more care to make sure you're knocking everything down, but it does do the job. And most importantly, it's not leaving any stray bristles on that cooking surface. So am I going to be completely ditching this thing? No. It will not be used for cooking grates. I will use it for charcoal grates, anything below the cooking surface, the inside of a cook chamber that's below the cooking surface, not on the lid, because any of those little bristles could still get lost and lodged there in some creosote. It will stay below the cooking level for anything I use it for. And for now, it's just going down in my spare charcoal basket. So as I said, I switched several months ago to using this coiled wire brush. If you're still using a wire bristle brush, I'd recommend you consider looking at something like this, or anything else that isn't going to leave those wire bristles potentially on your cooking grate surface. I waited way too long to make the switch, and that was the wrong decision to make. I'm just glad that I wasn't cooking any food that left any of those wire bristles that any of my friends or family would have gotten a hold of. In all seriousness, consider making a change from wire bristle brushes if you have an alternative. Go out and look for one. They exist. I found one. I hope you enjoyed this video. Feel free to check out some of the other videos on my channel and consider subscribing. And if you do, click that bell for notifications. Thank you all for watching. I hope you have a safe evening. I'll see you again soon.